All right, so today I'm pretty excited to take a look at the NECA The Thing Macready figure. Now, Mac is friggin' awesome. One of the best that they have ever done. I caught the bug to get these NECA movie figures. A couple years ago, it started with like Jason Voorhees I got as a gift, and I just threw it in a shoebox. Saw a Predator, and I was like, my favorite movie monster. This thing looks incredible. I'll throw it on the bookshelf. One thing led to the other. I got into some other stuff, but now NECA's doing licenses like Back to the Future, and it's stuff we've never gotten before. The Thing, now they've made The Thing figures before in the past. I think Soda Toys and McFarlane, but in all honesty, they were trash. The monsters are still cool, but the prices are ridiculous. But these are some of the best that NECA has made to date. I know there's some squabble about the likeness. I think that is crazy. Now, it's easier to do likenesses that have specific details like Arnold Schwarzenegger or Doc from Back to the Future. But when you got softer features, if you go back and look at Kurt Russell from the Thing movie, it is going to be a little harder to knock down. But if you look at the bear sculpt, it is there. It is on point. The nose and the little detail and everything, it's really on point. Something throws it off a bit in the paint, but at the end of the day, I think it is fan-friggin-tastic. You throw a little bit of gloss on the eyes, and that's it. A simple, easy fix. Now, here's the thing. He comes loaded with an extra, this would be 3 gloved hands, 3 ungloved hands, and the gloved hands come with this little cap to cover, because his gloves were covered a bit of his wrist. Now that cap comes off so you can see it here, and then here it's the bear jacket when you put on the bear arms. So that's a cool little touch, this little piece here that you put on the figure. It just pops off and on. Now, he comes with his whiskey. This is K&J, and then a little whiskey glass. And then you get sunglasses, goggles, a lantern, and then 2 heads. You get this worried expression, and then you get this this grinning expression. Now, what I did do, though, was I took I bought 2 of the Macreadys, and I wanted to test and see if the sculpting underneath was the same, and it is. So I took this head off of the Macready and I traded them. So now we can have a neutral expression with a hood. Essentially what I did was, and this is friggin' awesome. Now I think NECA's going to do this in the future anyway, but I warmed it up and slowly peeled away and then scraped away some of the grooves, the glue that was on. So this was the head that came with the hair. And then I removed the grinning face from the hood, and the grooves are the same for the hair and the hood. So you're able to remove any of the hooded heads if you want to buy a couple, and you can replace them to create your own look. So you can add the scared or worried face, and you can add hair to that one, or the grinning one, or I think that would be it right there, yeah. But what's awesome with that is you can have, now this is the neutral look that comes in the package. This is his normal expression. See that little touch of gloss in the eyes too, really helps. This is the normal expression that you can put on him straight out of the box. He looks fantastic. We're going to go over the figure all over. But because you can switch some of the hoods if you get a double, you can actually take this more angry look, which was one of the first sculpts that they showed when it was a bear sculpt, and it leads me to believe that they're going to release this look with the hair and the grin with a flamethrower and maybe some additional alternate look to the body, either snow-covered or the gray shirt. He had a couple different looks, so I do think they're going to release different looks. So if you don't want to do this, NECA will probably do it themselves. Now here's the thing, I didn't tack it down yet, so it is sitting a little rough, but I wanted to be able to remove it to show you. This head had the hood on it. I was able to remove the hood off it, and then I was able to remove this hair, just to make sure you guys are staying up with it. I was able to remove this hair piece from this head sculpt, because that's how it comes in the box. And then now I can put it on the head that has a grin. So what you'll do is you'll want to glue it down most likely. And all the ear, even in the hood, there's little spaces for the ears. And then inside the grooves, it all lines up and matches up. So you can pop it on and glue it down, and then glue it to the sides, hold it a bit, and then when you release it, it'll stay. But because I'm not tacking it down, it lifts just a little, if you can see that. Don't mind that little bit of lift because it's not glued down. It's being pushed up somebody's collar. But once you glue it down, you can see how cool that would look. I think that is friggin' awesome. I did the same thing with a Marty, and I created a new head sculpt that isn't on the market technically right now, but you can do the same with Marty. So let's take a look at Macready, which I think is one of their best. His head pops off and on real smooth, and the hair is sculpted to tuck in behind this. It's a little bit of a pliable piece, but it's a nice sculpt, and it tucks in well right behind his jacket, giving him some range and movement. The hair is a bit pliable, so if you want him looking to the side, the hair will squish to accommodate the look. I mean, look at that. That looks freaking awesome. I love this Macready figure. It's real smooth. The articulation as well not only looks good, but it's articulated well. Here's a shotgun. It is a smaller version of a shotgun. However, like if you have the Halloween set, it is a little smaller, but it's not out of scale. I know some people were like, the shotgun looks out of scale. It's fine when you get it in hand. Anyhow, so the articulation, real smooth, clean articulation. It sits nice the way it's designed and sculpted. And then the way it folds, you can see it's a little bit of a bulk here and a little bit of an indent there. But the way it folds nicely, and it kind of rolls up, and it'll connect here, giving him that over 90-degree pinch. So, because a lot of their single jointed figures have problems getting decent articulation, but because of the way it's designed here, I love it. I think this is the direction they should go. Some of the double jointed sculpts kind of look, they look like crap. I don't mind them. A lot of people complain though, but I think this is perfect for Macready. This is perfect. You get the cleaner look, and you get that little bit of more articulation, so that way he can hold like his lantern, for example. Now the pants are real weird. In pictures and in video reviews, they look really green, and I wanted to, even now, it's insane. I'm looking at it through the camera, and it looks super green, like a I don't know, like a puke green. But in person, it's a lot deeper. So when I saw it in reviews, I knew I was gonna throw on some shading and maybe some powder charcoal and darken this up a bit. I think I still might, just because it is a bit darker on film, it appears. So since I'm going to buy a stack of these figures, and I want one of, this is my all-time favorite movie. This is one of those only figures where I want one of every look. I'm not even going to bother switching heads. I just want one of every single look I could possibly get and call it a day. Anyway, I'm going to darken the pants on one of the versions. Anyhow, so his legs have a good bend, nice clean bend, and the swivel at the knee. You got a swivel at the hip. And you got just enough that you need for this type of figure. He does have the better ball joints in the hip. It's not like previous NECA figures where they got a weak ball joint. They have this better system that they started using more recently, and I think they need to continue that with all their other figures. A nice bend here at the knee. His legs do come up, and again, if you twist his hip a little, you can get even more range. And then the ankle, you got his boot here with some nice sculpted shoelaces. His boot will go up and down. And then you get some side to side here if you want to get him in a more action-orientated pose. So that is pretty friggin' neat. The sculpting is fantastic. The leather jacket, painted and sculpted well with so many different identifiers for it being leather. The little cracks, the wrinkles, I don't know what else to call them, in the leather, looks really good. And he just looks like a cool figure all around. Really awesome. And again, being able to switch the heads out is pretty friggin' cool. He's got this little lantern, and he's got this little lantern hand. You can get some of the sculpt up. Be careful with the handle of the lantern because it is a bit fickle, but you can put him in some of the poses like in the movie where he's holding the lantern up. But again, be careful with this lantern. It is really brittle plastic. It's that hard plastic. Now, obviously, underneath he has the blue to match with his hood because that's his sweater he's wearing, so you can pop the head off. And I threw it on the floor and then pop on. Let me pop on this head here because it comes with the hat. Some of these heads you might want to warm up. For some reason, the two hooded heads are a little bit tougher to put on. The hair head goes on clean. And then you have another image of Macready right from the movie. He looks fantastic. So you've got glasses that just slide in a little bit under the hood and under the hair, depending on what you want to put them on. And then he's got this little hat, his iconic hat from the movie. Here's his tiny glasses that have little ends that you slide under the hood and under the hair. And obviously you can put a hat on this guy as well, but if you want a more worried look with some goggles, the goggles fit on both of the hooded heads. I'm not sure if it would fit on the hair head though. I don't think it would. The hat you can put dangling as well on the hair head, and it fits great. Looks just like the movie because he often wears his hat behind him. So you'll get a lot of different poses for Macready with this figure release here. Just be careful with the strap because the strap is kind of fragile. It fits on it, just don't manhandle it. But you have his glasses and obviously these goggles, I say. These goggles can be positioned to rest just above his eyes, or you can take them off all the way and just have this look of Macready, maybe even pop on his hat. You can pretty much do anything. And then here's this face sculpt that looks really good. And see that little bit of gloss in his eyes? Let me pop out one of his other heads that I didn't put gloss on and see if you can get a difference. Yeah, here is, oh, I just broke his neck. Here is the Macready in my second pack with a grin. Actually, since I changed looks, let's throw this on. This is one of the heads that come in the pack. See how his eyes there? And I don't like this printing that they do on figures. That's a really faded, blurry printing. I hate that. A lot of companies do it. But here's the same figure with a dot of gloss Mod Podge in the eye. And I personally think it adds just a great improvement. Just that, without even having to repaint eyes. Just add a bit of gloss to that and maybe the inner lips, and it does fantastic. So let's pop him on. I think I'd let you see him with the glasses on and everything, but we'll pop his head sculpt on there, and you can get a good look at how it's painted and how it looks and how it's sculpted. I think it looks really cool though. And again, just from the movie, my all-time favorite movie, it's fantastic having these in figure form. And again, if you don't like the gloves, you can put on these ungloved hands. And taking a closer look at the gloves, you can see this little wrist shell. I believe both of them are identical, so I wouldn't worry about mixing them up. But you got gloves with one particular hand for holding the bottle. I warm mine up just a touch with a hairdryer, but you can see there it's molded perfectly to fit this bottle. Just pop it through and let it sit how you want to display it. And then it's got the K and J with the fail guy. It's got some ingredients there. And then you got the little glass that he's drinking out of. Yikes, that is tiny. Yeah, there we go. A little drinking glass with some ice in it. And I forgot, you could pop on the glasses to the headed look. There's just so many different looks you can do with this guy. Especially if you modify them a bit and switch the hair and hood. But even without switching them, if you want to wait, I do firmly believe NECA is going to redo this guy in a slightly different look as a variant. Even if they added a flamethrower with, let's say, snow type of paint job, like snow covered, like a frozen look, I think people would still buy it out. Now, the companies do this often, where they release a version that they think is like a test run, and they'll save the big incentive for later, and then they'll include that so they can gobble up some of those sales that people may have not bought if they included it to begin with. Like if you just released this Macready with everything you got and a flamethrower, and then released a Macready with like a frozen paint job, something that when he came inside with a little bundle of dynamite, people might necessarily not jump on that. You know what I'm saying? I personally think, as a giant fan of the movie, I would rebuy this damn figure if they released them with the frozen look to them, a little bit modified with the dynamite and the flamethrower, because that was kind of the way it was in the movie. He was threatening to light the dynamite with the flamethrower, wasn't he? Anyhow, so this is Macready from The Thing. I think it's one of the absolute best that NECA has done recently, and I would highly recommend, if you see this guy, buy this guy. Now, I put my foot in my mouth because when they asked us to guess what they were going to do next, I said, if you make the Thing figure, especially Macready, I'll buy 10 of them. So that's what I'm going to do. I told my daughter that. She looked at me like I was crazy. But all right, go out there. It's Target only for the first month, and then you can find him everywhere else after that. First month or two.